What's the good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. We had some early news on the head coach and general manager front for the New York Jets open positions, and I'm a little bit surprised that it's coming out this early, regardless if there's any validity to it or not, just because only maybe 2 weeks ago we heard Rick Spielman talking about how early it is. We also know in terms of the general managers, we can't do anything until the season's over, and in terms of the head coaches, we can't do anything for the candidates that are in the playoffs until they exit or said team wins. So nonetheless, we are still looking, couple months out. But the early news and buzz is that Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, and Ray Agnew, the assistant general manager for the Detroit Lions, could become the next pair for the New York Jets in 2025. And this was provided by senior NFL reporter Jori Epstein of Yahoo Sports on a Inside Coverage podcast. So I don't think anybody's really considered this, having a duo from the same franchise to join the New York Jets. And I think a lot of that also is just, are there any candidate pairs that will make a ton of sense, right? It'd be like Borgonzi and Matt Nagy, obviously Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn and Ray Agnew. Other than that, I don't think any other franchise off the top of my head has a similar pairing. Maybe it's, a little bit outside of the box, like Pete Carroll, who's in a front office position, and I don't know, somebody else that's over there. I know they had two front office people technically, right? But maybe Pete Carroll returns as the head coach. And I can't remember his name right now. Nonetheless, though, for all these guys, by the way, I did do breakdowns for the people that we're covering so far. So you can check out the playlist for that. But ultimately, I want to get into the actual statement here real quick, and then we'll talk about it a little bit further. So it goes on to mention, I do think it's worth noting there's definitely talk around the league that Aaron Glenn and Ray Agnew could be the duo that makes it to the Jets. They think they're the type of coach the Jets want. They'll set the culture, and they'll be able to come in with an aligned vision. And I think this is the hugest piece. I call it the X factor, or the wild card being Woody Johnson this offseason, right? One of the elements, and I heard somebody else address this, is that depending on how you look at this, right, if you don't get your general manager first, then you are trusting Woody Johnson to sell any candidates on why they should be coming to the team. And from this standpoint, I'm looking more so at the head coach position. If you get a general manager in place, then you can have them craft the vision around what Woody Johnson's expectations are, what they think makes sense. And if things are operating the way they should, then Ray Agnew in this case, right, would be the guy to try to coax an Aaron Glenn or a Ben Johnson or whoever else they want to look at. So Aaron Glenn and Ray Agnew both coming over, both being able to see the failures of the Detroit Lions previously, both being instrumental parts of the turnaround, and Ray Agnew even having a further background in some culture changing during his tenure with the Rams as well, is huge, is a plus. These are two guys that already have a strong working relationship to some degree, and they can hit the ground running, right? Again, not a pairing that I really consider, but the more that I hear about it, the more that I kind of think about it in my brain, I could really get behind this, really get excited. Aaron Glenn brings not only name recognition, he brings past accomplishments, he brings a strong connectivity to the team already. So from a fan base, from an internal standpoint, from an organizational focus, you should get immediate buy-in, right? And then to add into that, Ray Agnew, who's been an instrumental piece of turning this around. We've heard some of the background about some of the players he's been vocal for, the Rams and or Detroit Lions signing and bringing over, is huge. And then, of course, defensively, again, I'm always a defensive guy. I definitely would love to see an offensive OC in some fashion, right? More so because, I want to see an offensive-minded head coach just because I want us to absolutely have every best chance possible to groom Jordan Travis or whoever the next quarterback we decide to develop, picked up, whether we're drafting them this year or not. But you could theoretically get the same thing done by just having a strong OC. And so nonetheless here, this would be huge news. Also, I would imagine that the timeline for this happens very quick, right? The season ends in a couple weeks. You get Ray Agnew early in his tenure. Then, depending on however long it takes for the Detroit Lions to either win the Super Bowl or exit the playoffs, you immediately start looking at your interviews for Aaron Glenn. Hopefully, you're still bringing in Ben Johnson and going through a lot of the other candidate lists as well. But here's one of the huge pieces to this. Keep in mind that many of the past coaching regimes or the resets that we brought in, right? Robert Saleh, Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, et cetera, there was weird delays where it took a minute to really kind of get our staff together. You would be so early in the process that you are giving Aaron Glenn, you're giving Ray Agnew the best chances to put together their scouting department, their front office personnel, and then the coaching staff, who's going to be some of those critical members for position coaches, and then, of course, the glorious offensive coordinator position that we'll keep a keen eye on. So let me know what you guys think. I really hope this rings true, no matter what the optimum, guy that I would want at each position would be, which probably would still be Ben Johnson for me. And then GM could be a little bit more of a toss-up. But this will be great. This is something I could stand behind 100%, and I think it would immediately bring a ton of excitement. And it'd be an early win in the offseason for us, right? In a time where we'll need to stack up every win possible. I know usually we're off-season winners, but that's normally due to, throwing around money and free agency and all this other kind of stuff. So to set the foundation here, these would be excellent guys to roll with. And, again, just let me know what you guys think. Crazy pairing. I'll catch you guys again. Peace.